And so the more we know God, the better we will be able to live out love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control, the fruit of the Spirit. We will have the evidence of God's character and nature in us. Now go with me back to the example of my dad and sounding like my dad. The more time we spend around a person, any person, we are going to be able to mimic their mannerisms and make them our own. Now, I have to admit, this part of the sermon here made me think of Frank Caliendo. Are you guys familiar with Frank Caliendo, the comedian who does all sorts of impressions? If you listen to like ESPN radio, he's on there all the time. He does like the best John Madden and John Gruden, who are famous coaches, as well as other. Morgan Freeman, he does a great Morgan Freeman as well. And I was trying to find out, along with watching some great videos on YouTube, because that's what's fun about life, I was trying to find out how many hours he puts in the listening and watching video and audio of these guys. Because he is, sometimes if you didn't know Caliendo was on the radio, you thought maybe John Madden was on there. You thought Morgan Freeman was on there because he does it so well. And in the same way, the more time we spend with, say, our dad or our mom, or the more time our children spend with us, the more they begin mimicking the mannerisms, the habits, the words that we say. The more they mimic the worldview that we have because they see it lived through us. It's one reason why it's so important. It's great to see your kids here this morning, for kids to be in worship, because part of what they do is they learn how to worship in being present here. And it just warms my heart when I've seen like one of our 4 kids at various ages, especially when they didn't like even really know how to talk yet, when they would see people raise their hand in worship and they would raise it too, because they begin to mimic that heart and that posture of worship. And likewise, the more time we spend with God, the more time we spend with Jesus and the Holy Spirit, the more our lives begin to reflect God's nature and God's plan to the world. The more we're able to live out God's love and God's purpose for us because we've spent time with God. We are